Hello, welcome back to the Red Zone. I'm AJ, and this is all your Manchester United sports, entertainment, and news updates. This is the match reaction video for Saturday's 1-1 draw against Chelsea. We're going to talk about the player performances, we're going to talk about the team performance. Let's get into it. The first thing to say is a 1-1 draw against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. It's never really something to turn your nose up at or be disappointed with, but on Saturday's performance, I've got to say it's a little disappointing because of how well we played in the game. I mean, for the first 40 minutes, we totally dominated Chelsea, literally destroyed them, pinned them back. It's rare they even got out their half. It's quite rare they got out the box, if we're being honest. The way the pressing game was being played by their forwards, it was on another level again, which obviously you can only big up Ten Hag for, because he's obviously having an impact in training and getting across what he wants the players to do. Do you know what I mean? 40 minutes, the De Gea, the defence weren't even tested. The midfield, Casemiro, Eriksen, Bruno in there interchanging, just totally dominated the centre of the park, which is why Graham Potter had to make the tactical change and bring Kovacic on. But it's just good to see, really, because the last 4 years, we've got no proper CDM, which obviously Casemiro is showing us now what can happen if you've actually got a CDM, what is his job. And obviously the pressing game is getting a lot better, which means the midfield's just being dominated, and we're showing that in the last 3 games. Just good play from the midfielders, obviously coming from Ten Hag. The players are starting to listen. They're starting, we said in the last video, the players would be stupid not to sit back, look at the performance, no matter how much energy they put into, no matter how fucked they were at the end of the game, that if they do these things, it can be a constant thing that we play well and outplay teams. Again, I think we had more possession. It might have only been slightly, but when we were saying this before, we were getting 30-40% possession, having to teeth games on the run, on the break with Rashford down the wing or something like that. Like, that's good. You have to play that way in some games, but realistically, we need to be dominating games. We need to be having more shots, more possession. Do you know what I mean? Less pressure on the defence, which is what we're starting to see. The chances as well, creating chances. We were getting to the final third. For the last 3 years, we found it hard to break down the low block, and we even saw it at the start of Ten Hag's reign, obviously because certain players were still in the team and they had certain mindset. But now, with the inventiveness of Ten Hag, we're starting to see that when we're getting into the final third, we're actually breaking down defences and creating the chances. It's only because we haven't got it out and out 20-25 goal a season striker that we're not putting them away. Obviously, Marcus Rashford, for us and for many Man United fans, he's a winger. We're not going to totally diss him because he's having to play up there for certain reasons. Martial out injured. Ronaldo taking the piss, so he obviously had to get dropped from the matchday squad. So you can't fault him. But when he's getting through on goal, he's not got that striker's instinct, what you expect from, let's say, like a Haaland, a Lewandowski, a Harry Kane. These are players who, that's their job, to put the ball in the back of the net. So whatever situation arises, they can adapt to it and find the back of the net. For example, the Rashford one on Saturday, he was slotted through one-on-one. Kepa come rushing out. Now, it did kind of seem he tried to do it, but obviously the technique's not there because he's not a proper striker. If that's a striker, it's a simple finish, really. You just lift it, dink it over the goalkeeper, and where he's tried to put a bit more force in it, what he normally does with his shots, and the keeper saved it. But yeah, you can't really complain with him. But when we get that striker in, whether it be January or in the summer, we're going to start putting these chances away, and it's the whole outlook's just a lot better. Antony, big fans, massive fans of Antony. We love him since he's come to the club, but he did have a quiet game on Saturday. Not too sure why. Maybe the quickness of the games, the how often we're having these games to fit in the World Cup. Maybe it's having an effect. Well, he didn't play bad or shit, nothing like that. We're just saying he didn't really do what he's been doing, do you know what I mean? He didn't score again as well, you can't really complain with that. The one thing we did see was the Antony skill move. He broke that out in the middle of the park. You always love to see a bit of showboating. Yeah, the first half, the second half as well. The Chelsea did come back into it. Obviously, the Kovacic sub worked. They regained some form of battle back in the midfield, so it was 50-50. They probably had more of it in the second half, to be fair, but it weren't one of those where we just withered and fell under the pressure or anything. We were still there, we were still battling, we were still popping the ball around, trying to create the chances. But obviously it's their home ground, so they're going to come back into it. No complaints with that. The penalty, what can you say? It's a penalty. Fucking McTominay's a dickhead. You can't grab man like that in the box, even though I've heard all the excuses that if you give those, you're going to be giving 20 away a game. That's fair enough, do you know what I mean? We understand that. This is why you have to decide on the actual spot and what's going on in that situation. And quite obviously the ball was going to their man, and my man's fucking wrestled him down like he's in WWE or something, so it's a blatant penalty. Man only came on the pitch, was it 2 or 3 minutes before that, and already he's doing those sort of things, which obviously ain't going to look good on Ten Hag. Not with the way Casemiro's playing, not with the way Eriksen's playing. Even though Eriksen had a quiet game, he was still involved and doing his things. It was just a couple of lapsy-daisy moments. But yeah, the penalty was a penalty, what can we say? The only thing I would say is justice was served afterwards and not long after, because the way these players celebrated after they scored that penalty was an absolute joke, like they'd been dominating the game or fucking us up or something. Jorginho with his hop, step and jump. We all know De Gea's shit at penalties, so it's rare he's going to save one, but justice was served, because not long after that, Luke Shaw, who has done well, which is what we said we wanted, him and Malacia on the left to battle it out. Obviously, they're going to be pushing each other, so the performances are going to be better. Luke Shaw played shit at the start of the season, was dropped. Malacia made a couple, come in, did well. Then obviously at a certain point, he's made a couple mistakes. So Luke Shaw's come back in and he's done well. He's looked powerful. He's looked strong. He's been getting forward. His defence position's been fine. Yeah, Luke Shaw gets it after a rebound out the box, whips in the ball, and who's there? Casemiro with one crazy header. Got to be by the penalty spot, looped it over the keeper. Keeper tried to keep it out, and it's just gone over the line, and the goal line technology confirmed it. But yeah, great header, great cross, and justice is served, because you're going into that stoppage time and you're thinking, we don't really deserve to lose this game. It's kind of a piss take, do you know what I mean? If a draw, you can, I think we deserve to win the game, but a draw, you could say, you know what, a draw's a draw, we'll take it away from home. But when we were losing, it was just unjustified, especially how the 90 minutes had gone. Yeah, and you know what was good to see as well? The celebrations after the goal, because that's what we wanted to see. We wanted to see passion and pride and some fight in the players. And to be honest, Casemiro was all of us after the fight, after the goal had been given. We were all the same, so we loved them for that. Bruno was in there. Bruno had a quiet game, but again, he's the captain. He was leading, he was fighting, he was badgering people, badgering the ref. So all in all, you can't really complain. It's better than what we've had in the past, where just placid people, don't want to mention no names, but you know, our ex-captain, placid player, just lets everything go, not really giving away his emotions or anything like that. This is football. The game's built on emotions, especially for the fans, and that's what we want to see. Yeah, Varane as well, what can we say? Came, I think it was about the 60th minute, it fell awkward. They think it's a muscle injury, but it didn't look good, especially the way the man was upset. Obviously, he's thinking about the World Cup, which is coming up. But yeah, we are filming this video quite late, and the update on Varane is that it's not actually as bad as first thought, so there's a possibility he might not play for United again, but he'll be able to get back into training and get ready for the World Cup, and then we'll see him back in January. But what a Rolls Royce of a player before that. Sancho needs to be careful, if you ask me. We all know how talented he is, and he had a good start to the season, but he's kind of dropping off. And we're seeing mistakes, and we're seeing a lack of intensity from him. And obviously, if we had that out and out striker, it wouldn't really be a problem, because as we've seen, Rashford can just go out there, and we all know Rashford's going to destroy people on the left. But because we haven't got that out and out striker, Rashford's having to play there. So then you're interchanging with flipping Bruno over onto that side for a little while if you're taking Sancho off, or bringing in Alanga. But yeah, we all know how good he can be. He just needs to get back into the rhythm of things, because the rest of the team is playing amazing. So to have Sancho kind of dropping off, it's kind of tipping the balance. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, what can we say? That's basically it. 1-1 draw with Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. Like we say, it wouldn't really be a problem any other season. We'd be saying that's a good result to take away from home. But with the way the game went, we should have beat them really, and it only looks positive for the future. Especially we've already played Chelsea, we've already played Arsenal, Liverpool, Man City, Tottenham. So realistically, our next run of games, we need to build up those 3 points. We need to stack them up, and we need to be pushing for that top 4 place now, because we're still in and around it. No one's really running away with it, so we need to keep fighting. We're back in action on Thursday night in the Europa League. We've got Sheriff Tiraspol at Old Trafford. Another big game for us, because we need 3 points. You don't really want to be finishing second in that group and having to play like a Barcelona or one of those big teams that's going to drop down. You don't want to have to do that. So we need to beat Sheriff Tiraspol. We need to then obviously beat Sociedad. And it's a possibility, and then we take first place in the group and we'll progress. But yeah, Thursday night. So that's that for this video, guys. Let us know in the comments what you thought of the performance. Let us know what you thought of the result, because obviously 1-1 at Stamford Bridge, it's a positive result to take. Don't forget to check out the Instagram page, which is at the bottom of the channel as well. You can get that. And don't forget to give us a like and subscribe, and make sure that you turn on that notification bell so you know when we upload videos, which is getting more and more regular. And thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.